Hey guys, it's Marijka, Milton Public Library, back with you today to talk about more books. Today I am bringing to you some novels in verse, or poetic novels, whatever you want to call them. So here we go. The first book that I want to talk about today is called Res Dogs. This is by Joseph Bruchac. This book takes place at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, so it is new and relevant to the time we're in now, but then goes back into the past and tells stories about the indigenous peoples. So Milan is staying on the reservation with her grandparents when the stay-in-place order come in. So she is on the reservation and she's stuck there, and during this time she befriends this res dog or reservation dog, and then also learns the history of her ancestors, the not so pleasant history of her ancestors, a history that we all should know. This story describes how Native American families felt during the pandemic at this time, and then weaves in how they felt hundreds of years ago when the white colonists brought disease to the continent, almost wiping out the indigenous people. This story also touches on other atrocities committed against the Native American people. It talks about boarding schools and the forced foster care, and just all of the atrocities that were brought upon them by the white colonizers. So yeah, this is a really quick read that has a lot of information and is relevant, and then has a really good history of the natives and how this is not the first time that they've had to do this. So that book is Res Dogs, and it is by Joseph Bruchac. I think I said it wrong the first time, probably said it wrong the second time because I'm terrible at that. I'm very sorry. The next book that I have for you is called Everywhere Blue, and this book is by Joanne Rossmassler Fritz. So when Maddie's brother Strum vanishes from his college campus, her life seems to shatter. Strum used to tell Maddie everything, but now he's missing, and she's really wondering if things will ever be the same again. While her parents go off to the college in which her brother went missing from, Maddie is left with her sister, who is dealing with the situation by rebelling and ignoring Maddie. Her sister staying up late and just trying to butt heads with anyone who is telling her anything. So this novel in verse is a really quick read that brilliantly weaves together music and environmental issues and family and friendship. So this book is Everywhere Blue by Joanne Rossmassler Fritz. The next book that I have for you is called The Wild Book. This is by Margarita Engle. So this story is about Margarita's grandma, Fefa, who grew up in Cuba in 1912. So when she was growing up, she was what the local doctor called word blind, what we would now call dyslexic, or she had dyslexia. So this means that words tended to like disappear or rearrange themselves on a page. So it's not people with dyslexia or who are dyslexic are not stupid. It's not that they don't know how to read. It's that their brain mixes everything up and it just gets all jumbled, so it just makes it harder. And there's tricks that they can learn, and there's different things like that, but it does not dictate their intelligence whatsoever. So doctors told her, though, that she would never be able to read or write because they just believed that then, and now we know much better. So Fefa's mom just does not accept that this is the fate for her daughter. She believes that the doctors are wrong, and that she knows in her heart that her daughter is intelligent and will be able to do this. So she comes up with this really neat way to try to get Fefa to learn all of these words. So she gives her this journal to write down words and explore her language. And she tells her to treat the words in the journal like a garden and just let them grow wild. So soon the pages fill and begin to sprout into these beautiful things. This book is a good representation of life in Cuba in 1912, and also gives a really decent glimpse of what it is like to have dyslexia. So this is The Wild Book, and it is by Margarita Engle. The last book that I have for you is called The Last Fifth Grade at Emerson Elementary. This book is by Shovan. So this book is a really wonderful telling of a transformational year of school. So everyone is changing, and then on top of that, the school is closing forever. So this book takes these individual poems about what each kid separately is facing and their experience with the school closing, and weaves them into this really whimsical novel about finding your voice and standing up so that others can hear it. So that book is The Last Fifth Grade at Emerson Elementary by Shovan. So those are my 4 books for you. I'm going to start that over. So those are my books this week, all novels in verse, and I hope that one or all of them pique your interest, and you read them and let me know what you think. So we'll see you next week. Bye.